YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Deep Ministries weekly live stream. And today is session 15. Our topic for this week is the importance of building trust in other people. Good morning, Shelley. How are you? Thank you for joining us. So good to have you here. It is so wonderful to be here on this beautiful Sunday morning. I say beautiful because our weather has just been freaking phenomenal here in Southern California, and feeling so blessed to be living in Southern California. I'm so happy though that the temperature has gone down a little bit. It was spiking there into the 97 range, and I wasn't super happy about that. I'm like, wait a second, it's spring. Cool. Just checking the rest of our channels. Hello, everybody who's watching live from the streaming page. Thank you for joining us this morning. So happy to be here. Last but not least, Facebook, Instagram. Good morning, everybody on Instagram. Thank you for joining. And let's double check that we're live. Yes. Okay. I still have my my computer really close here. Let me grab that. With that, good morning. Thank you for joining up on my screen. How's this? How are we doing? Cool. And Kimmy's coming in. Where we go? There we go. Oh, Crystal, you got the job. Congratulations and celebrations. Triluminate wants to know, how am I this happy this early? Because life is fucking amazing. And that doesn't mean we're trying to pretend that there's not struggles in this world. Fuck, man. Life is so hard. Good morning, Miranda. Good morning, Kimmy. But man, like, life is just pretty dang great. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thanks, Mom, for joining. Hi from Facebook. And happy Easter to everybody who celebrates Easter. Happy Pesach, happy Passover to everybody who celebrates Passover. I didn't know it was Passover already. I just found out from one of my friends last night. He's like, "Oh, I'm on the way to Passover dinner," and I was like, "Dang it!" Every single year so far for the last 4 years. Oh, it really is. It really is. We're so blessed. For the last 4 years, I'm like, okay, next year I'm going to make Passover dinner, and we're going to have a big thing. We're going to do the whole ceremony. It's going to be so awesome. We're going to follow all of the traditions. And then I find out during Passover that I already missed the first 2 nights. I'm like, ugh. One of these days I'll take it seriously and actually like block it off in my calendar before we get rolling. Good morning, Savi. Thank you for being here. But regardless, I so appreciate you being here with us, not only on a Sunday, but also on holiday. I know many of you probably have plans later, so I'm very honored that you are here to celebrate. Hey, Crystal, happy to see you. I'm so happy you could make it too. Yay! Woohoo! So for those of you who have never seen one of these live streams before, I am Abby Levine. I'm the founder of Deep Ministries, and Deep Ministries, Deep is an acronym for, no, it's not something sexual. It is an acronym for Divine Evolutionary path. And the Divine Evolutionary Path are simple steps rooted in spirit. They're very practical. They're just easy steps that anybody can take to get to their highest, most evolved life of ease and abundance. Good morning, Lindsay. Lindsay thought it was last week before you went to the matzo bake. Maybe it was. Oh my gosh, maybe that's why all of those matzahs were out at the grocery store. It might have been. Maybe it's the last nights of Passover. I've got no clue. I haven't even had an opportunity to check my calendar. However, happy to those who do celebrate Passover. Goodness. So Divine Evolutionary Pathway Ministries, that is the name of my nonprofit corporation that I just started. And we have two main focuses. We have a focus on local and global initiatives, of which, just to begin with, we have 7. We've got 7 local and global initiatives. Our very first initiative, hey Dave, welcome. Happy Easter to you, buddy. Our very first initiative is to create transitional homes for foster kids who are aging out of foster care. I don't know how many people know this, but as soon as kids turn 18 when they're in foster care, usually their families kick them out, the foster families, because the government stops giving benefits to those families who are fostering those children once they turn 18. So usually it doesn't matter if they're in the middle of their final year at high school, or maybe they're not even in their final year, but wherever they are at, it doesn't matter. Usually they get kicked out. And the thing is that they've been fostered. They've probably lost contact with their families. Maybe their families, their parents are dead. Maybe they're in prison. And so these kids have absolutely nowhere to go. And within 18 months, 60% of them end up on the streets. And a shocking 80% of inmates in prison came up through the foster system or the group home system. And that just kind of makes sense. Because if you got kicked out of where you have known as your home at 18, you've got nowhere to go. You've got no one to help you. You have no money. You don't know how to get a job. You don't know where to get money from. And you're just trying to live. A lot of them will get taken in, right, by gangs or other predators that are looking for these kinds of vulnerable people. And so it just kind of makes sense that they end up in prison, right? 80% of people in prison came up through the foster group home system. And since I was raised in foster care and I spent 6 years in foster care, I intimately know the struggles of just, living with a family that's not yours, living with a family that doesn't necessarily treat you like you belong, and much, much worse. So I have lots of friends who also came up through the foster system, and I have friends. If you saw my post yesterday on some of my social media outlets, I have friends. Hey, Jules. Hi, Christian. I have friends who, when they were in foster care, literally saw other foster brothers and sisters be beaten to death. That was not, I was not overstating that. I didn't make that up. This is not me being a martyr on behalf of people who struggle and suffer. No, these are practical, actual experiences that people that I know went through. One of my friends was in 20 different foster homes, 20. Within a 3-year period. Yeah, it is like that, right? It's like fucking ferocious. And he wouldn't know from 1 week to the next if he was going to get shunted off to a new foster home or to a new group home. And so, and he didn't have any stuff. So they just put whatever few possessions he had in black bags, trash bags, right? So he started a foundation where he just collected backpacks for kids, for foster kids, backpacks and stuff that usually foster kids don't have as they're transitioning between homes. It's something so simple, as simple as not having a backpack and as having to face the indignity of carrying your things from one home to another, as yet another group of people said, "Oh, we don't want that. We don't want you. Let's get another one." The indignity of having to carry your stuff in a trash bag like you are trash. Like, this is what these kids go through. So yeah, they're going to be rough around the edges. Yeah, they've got nowhere to go. And so, one of Deep Ministries' first missions is to create transitional homes for these kids who are aging out of foster care. So we have our goal for our first home. We're gonna start with girls. So we're going to take on 6 girls who are transitioning out of foster care, and it's essentially going to be a program. It's not just a roof over their head and safety and food. It's going to be a program. They're going to be healing. They're going to have therapists. They're going to have hypnotherapists. There's going to be group healing aspects of it. We're going to be teaching them soft skills. We're going to be teaching them how to start and run a business, how to get a job, all the stuff that they need to know, how to pay bills, how to save, that they need to know in order to be positive, contributing members to society. Like, the goal of these homes is to create leaders, leadership thinking, leadership mentality. Hey, Kim, good morning. Yeah, Savi. Oh, you had a friend whose parents were foster carers and she had a lot of trauma. Totally. Trash bag symbolism is going to get wired into their subconscious mind. Ding, 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 ding. Absolutely. You're 100% correct. Volunteer copywriting. Yes. Complimentary EFT sessions. Yes, absolutely. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Miranda. Yes, absolutely. That's the idea, that we're essentially catching them before they get on the streets, before they get too deep into drugs or alcohol or other ways to survive, right? Before they start committing crimes in order to stay alive, or to stay an accepted member of whatever family has taken them in. We want to catch them before that. So we're going to start with one home as our flagship, and then as money and people and housing allows for, we're going to then move into our home for boys, and then we'll just keep expanding. That sounds beautiful, Linz. Yes, yes, yes. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yes, please. Dream boards and art therapy. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're here for. Then the whole other portion of Deep Ministries is education. So for those of you who have noticed, maybe you haven't, or maybe you have, Earth is going through a major evolution. A major evolution. What Earth's evolution looks like right now is fucking bananas chaos. And that's because we're going through a major deconstruction process. What is deconstruction? Deconstruction happens when all of the old systems that used to work stop working and are being broken down because they are no longer viable ways for us to exist as an evolving, conscious group of individuals. So Earth is going through a major evolution, and we humans need a lot of fucking help. We need a lot of support as we're going through this. And so I've been a healer for 8 years. Obviously, with all the trauma that I went through before and after foster care, I started a healing journey quite a while ago. And some of the techniques that I acquired were incredibly effective. And I started to notice the last few years, I was a money mindset coach specifically. And I was helping people break through their limiting beliefs around money, their ceilings. During the pandemic, my clients have made almost $1 billion, and most of them started at less than $5,000 a month. So it's total bananas results. But I started noticing that there were basic, certain foundational keys, teachings, platforms, philosophies. Good morning, Rich. Sending you good juju. That are missing from society. Basic, simple knowledge that we are simply not taught in society. And so the other side of deep ministries, one side is practical, on the ground, helping people, and the other side is education. Now, our weekly live stream supports the education portion of deep ministries. And the education portion is laid out in 7 different tracks. On a weekly basis, I'm teaching for free the philosophies and the basic principles that lay the foundation for the highest, most evolved, most abundant, luscious life of alignment. I truly believe that every single individual came to Earth to just simply be themselves. And that's it. And I believe that we came to Earth to be ourselves, and we deserve to be paid handsomely for that. That's what I believe, truly. And it's been reinforced consistently throughout my work. I am an angel communicator. Absolutely. Oh, it's my pleasure to care. It's my joy. It's my compulsion. It's part of my DNA to care about people and to care about humanity. So all that to say that we're in the middle of track 1. Track 1 is dissolving poverty mindset and building an abundance mindset. And there are some, obviously selfish reasons that you would care about dissolving your poverty mindset, because when you can dissolve any lack mentality, you can have whatever the fuck it is you want. You can get that income streaming to you openly, easily, effortlessly, just coming on cue, as many of my clients have experienced, like very tangibly. And so it benefits us on a personal level to dissolve poverty mindset, but it also benefits the world on a global level, because as we move through this evolution, Earth's vibration is rising. And that is important because the higher Earth's vibration rises, the more easily we can hold a love frequency. Fear is the predominant frequency of Earth currently. In fact, just a few years ago, Earth was like 78% fear. And so that's the point of raising the frequencies to move into a love frequency. When we can act from love and not fear, then we're not aggressive, we're not jealous, we're not spiky, we're not bitter, we're not angry, right? So it benefits Earth for the vibration to rise. It benefits each of us individually for the vibration of Earth to rise. And each of our energy signatures contributes to the overall vibration of the world. I know that, like, it's so simple to say that, but it's absolutely true. What is Earth's vibration, if not every single being that exists on this planet contributing to the overall vibration of Earth, right? So when we exist within a poverty mentality, we are propagating the fear vibe. We are keeping a lower vibe, and it is fear-based. When we can dissolve that poverty mentality, we are coming from a love vibe. So we are spreading love, we're contributing love to the overall vibration of the Earth. And the number one fear or anxiety that exists worldwide is the fear around money. And that is how dissolving poverty mentality contributes positively to the rising of Earth's vibration, because we are literally clearing out the number one fear, the number one anxiety that exists on a global scale. So that's what we're doing. That's where we are. We're deep in track 1. We are talking about trust, which is a very dense. Talking about trust is fucked, man. Oh God. Last week we talked about trusting a higher power. The class that we did last week during the week was so powerful. It was awesome. Building trust in our higher power, because without trust in our higher power, we cannot surrender. We try to control everyone and everything around us. We need to be able to surrender so that we can take our hands off from trying to control, and we can use our energy for better things, like working on our healing, etc., etc., etc. Sorry, I know. Oh man, one thing you can guarantee to get from me at all times is just like straight truth, man. Jules, I responded to your message on Instagram. There will be a replay. There's no replay just yet, just because it's not loaded. Wait, are you in the next evolution, babe? If you're in the next evolution, then the replay is there. The replay will be available coming soon. But you should be on my email list. Aren't you on my email list, love? If you're on my email list, you'll get the link to the class in your email. Angels alike. Sorry that you lived through trauma, but you have to trust us, dude, for reals. Hi, Kat. Good morning. Yeah, totally. Angels are like, hey, sorry that you went through so much fucking abuse. Trust us, though. Oh, God. Okay, sweetheart. So just make sure that I'm under your safe. I thought you were too, that I'm under like your safe contacts or something, so that you can make sure to get those. Just search your email for my email address. But before we move on with trust, a couple of exciting announcements. Whee! I'm so excited. Okay, exciting announcement number 1. I want to show you guys. I finally set up Deep's back end membership, where all of the replays for the live streams can be stored. Yay! Woohoo! And it didn't take off as long as I thought it was going to, and I was being avoidant. Okay, so this is the back end membership. It's so pretty. So I just wanted to show you. Here's the weekly live stream replays. And then these are, each one of them are the replays for the live stream. Ultra, hi, good morning. How are you? So this is cool. I've only loaded up to session 3 so far, but it is so pretty. Oh my goodness. How beautiful is that? So beautiful is the answer to that question. And all that you need to do in order to get access to this beautiful back-end membership is a simple $5 monthly donation. Yay! Thanks, Ultra. I know you're like, I'm osmosing. I'll take some pics of it this week, and I'll post them on Insta so you can see them. Yeah. So cute. And another thing that I did yesterday was set up my ability to take donations. Yay! Because another celebration announcement is that Deep Ministries got approved for our our tax exempt status, which means that we are now officially a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, and that your donation to our cause is tax deductible. Whoop, whoop. Oh, so exciting. Oh, goodness. So thank you, Lena. So exciting about that. So this is our Patreon page. And then Aligned Humans Level 1, that's the just $5 a month. And that's when you get access to Deep Ministries, yay, weekly live session. For those of you who are on Insta, if you want to check it out simultaneously, or if you are, no, if you're watching from the streaming page, if you want to check it out simultaneously, go to the bio, click on my link, and it's the second option down that says support Deep Ministries. So here, then that's right. Okay. I'm going to fast forward to my next exciting announcement, which is that there's been a change of plans with the classes. I was going to make each of the classes a pay what you can model. But actually, I was having a meditation yesterday, and God, yes, of Earth, was talking to me, and he was actually giving me some really helpful simplifications for how to set up our back-end system. And he was like, don't even worry about it. The live classes, the education portion is not going to be where the majority of the money comes from. Just offer it based on a donation basis. Because I was like, okay, people would pay what you can up front, then take the class or whatever. But now we're just going to do all of the classes, just a donation basis. Everybody is welcome to attend them. And I just ask or invite you to donate what you can as you are able, in exchange for taking the classes. So I have a $10 level if that's what you got. $15, $25. At $50 a month, you will have access to all of the classes in one entire track. Okay, just to kind of let you know what that means. Track 1, dissolving poverty mentality and building abundance mindset, so far has 45 classes in it. And that's kind of overwhelming. I totally get it. But the idea is not to take them all in the same week. The idea is to dissolve your poverty mentality bit by bit. So you just start with class 1. And then when you're ready, you move on to class 2. Every single class has processes, transformations. Like, these programs are what I do. These classes are what I do with my one-on-one clients who pay me $10,000. Okay. It's just that my one-on-one clients are paying for my private time. And then you can get access to these same things for a donation, like, indefinitely. So amazing, amazeballs, right? Now, working one-on-one is very different than working in a class, right? Because I can accomplish in 12 sessions what I still haven't covered in 45 classes. Does that make sense? So when you work one-on-one, we can go right for the jugular. When it's in a group, we're having to cover every single possibility that it might be. So there's definitely benefits to both. All of my private clients, yeah. All of my private clients get access to the classes, of course. But yeah, for $50, you get access to all of the classes in a beautiful format. And then you can sign up for multiple tracks at one time. Okay, cool. Last but not least, our first goal. My first goal for Deep Ministries is I need desperately a virtual assistant, because right now it's just me. And I'm spending so much time on back end stuff and technology stuff that if I had a virtual assistant, I could tag that stuff over to my virtual assistant and I could focus on the big time stuff, applying for grants, corporate sponsorships, things like that. So my first goal for Deep Ministries is $500 so that I can get a virtual assistant, unless there's someone who is watching or you know someone who might be interested who would like to volunteer. That is our other option. Then we can skip the $500 and move on to the next goal. Yay! Then our goal after that is 10,000 because we've got to do our launch party. And then our goal for our first home is 150,000. And then we'll be able to kick off our first home because we'll be able to cover a lot of the operating expenses once the home is up and running with government support and different kinds of programs that exist out there. But for the first 6 months, while we get everything set up and running, we need to have that money in the bank so that I don't have to say to these girls, like, oh, I'm sorry, we ran out of money and none's coming in and we haven't got any grants approved yet. I'm going to have to kick you out, or I'm going to have to pay. Oh God, I'm going to have to now support lots of different people financially in order to not kick them out. So these are our goals. And the last thing that I wanted to share, thank you. Thanks, Miranda. Oh, we're so excited. Thanks, Lena. Me, my board of directors, everybody who believes in our mission and is following what we're doing. So I just wanted to share a few ways. If you're not able to donate, that is totally okay. I have at many times been in a position where I needed every single lost dollar because I was living on $25 a week for food, right? I was sleeping on people's sofas. So I totally understand if you don't have, yay! Bye, Kat. What do I need for a virtual assistant? I need help loading onto Kajabi. I need someone to load videos, download them and load them onto Kajabi, essentially. It's like organizing the backend system. So if you can't contribute financially, no problem. Can you share our Patreon page on your social media outlets? Can you share our mission? By the way, thank you so much to everybody who already shared my post from yesterday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate that because partly it's getting out in front of people who need the classes and partly it's getting out in front of people who would want to support the mission. So sharing the mission, sharing the posts. Can you host a fundraiser? Like a margarita night or a tequila tasting or wine and cheese, or sell a product or have a bake sale or collaborate with the local restaurant or do a 5K, bunko night, a poker run, right? Something that will help the people love to do, like drink, and host a fundraiser. And if you're interested in hosting a fundraiser, just connect with me. Do you know of people who own companies that need to donate in order to get that tax write-off? Can you connect me with those people? Are there other people that you know of who truly believe in that mission of helping foster kids that you can connect me with, that they might know other resources or avenues that we can get funding? One of my friends met a crypto millionaire and he was like, oh yeah, or actually multimillionaire. And he was like, yeah, I have $1 million just sitting, waiting to do something positive to benefit the world. Do you know someone like that? Connect them with me. Or someone who has a bunch of money and is just sitting there going, I don't know who to trust, or I don't know where I want to put it towards. Connect me with them. Or can you volunteer? We need grant writers, we need admin assistants, we need people who are interested in contacting companies for corporate sponsorships. I need a volunteer coordinator. I'm not going to be able to manage our team of volunteers. We need help with marketing, event planners, copywriters, email marketers. We need tech support, people who know how to fundraise and who love it. People who know how to get corporate sponsorships and like take that as a challenge. And at the very least, if you can't do any of that, if you don't know anybody, you can't donate, can you just simply share the mission? Can you share the live stream on your outlets? Do you have an email list that you can send it to? Can you just copy paste, or just hit that share button on social media, or tag someone who you think might be interested or passionate about what we're doing, or that might know of resources. Just helping us get the word out would be so amazing, because there's a lot of work that we need to do, and I just can't do it by myself. So please help. From Fifth Element, please help. I always do that bit when she's in the cab. Anyway, thank you for being here. Hi, Ultra. Hey, Marvin, you're here now. Very cool. Thank you for just being present, and just being here. I appreciate you just being here and being in our circle, just holding space for us, supports the mission, because this stuff is going to start to osmose into your blood, and I'm going to come to top of mind when someone's like, I have a resource that's looking to help foster kids, and you'll be like, oh my God, Abby, you got to talk to Abby. And so I appreciate you. Okay, cool. Moving on. How to build trust in others. Well, have fun there, Mr. Triluminate. That sounds awesome. Thank you. Have a great day. It's hilarious. Okay, so first of all, why don't we trust others? Why don't we trust? One, because we have been burned before. Two, because we did trust and we got let down, right? That's kind of the same point of being burned before, because we had unrealistic expectations of someone and we were disappointed. Because we believed what someone was saying and we ended up looking foolish. Because we have consistently trusted untrustworthy people. And so we believe that people are not trustworthy. Because every time we trust someone who isn't trustworthy, that people can't be trusted gets reinforced over and over and over again. Okay, so there's lots of reasons why we don't trust people. But bottom line, most of the reasons come down to that we have trusted. Hey, Christina. That we have trusted people before, and that we put our faith in people, and they let us down, right? Savi says, unrealistic expectations that we wouldn't be hurt by those that love us because they don't know any better. Yeah, sometimes unrealistic expectations that people that we admire, that we look up to, are going to not do things that make them human, right? They're going to be able to avoid being a human, but they're not going to do things that disappoint us. Hey, Tim, but they're not going to do things that let us down. Those absolutely can be where our lack of trust in people comes from historically, right? But let's talk about, why do we need to trust? What is the importance of trusting in order to build a life of lucrative wealth and abundance and ease and flow and grace? Why do we need to be able to trust others in order to build that life of abundance? Ultra. Oh, did that hit something for you, babe? Did that spark something? Number one, we need to be able to trust others because we don't live in a void. We come into contact with other people. And as we come into contact with other people, we're going to need to be able to trust some of them, right? One of them, two of them, three of them. We're going to have to trust that they're not all going to let us down, right? You don't have to guard yourself to every single person. Lindsay says that is so true. Broken trust in so many ways creates a distrust and other low emotions of ourselves. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Ultra, not letting others be human. Yeah, I'm totally guilty of that. Very much. Another reason is because we cannot do everything by ourselves. We need to be able to not only trust that others can hold themselves, right? We need to be able to trust that people can take care of themselves, that they can hold themselves, that they can live okay without us needing to try to micromanage everything about their emotions or their lives. But we also need to be able to trust others to guide us, like in practical terms. Like, if we want to live a life of abundance, then at some point we're going to need to invest to create some passive or some accumulative, well, that wasn't a word, cumulative there, exponential growth with our money, right? We're going to need to trust people to be able to guide us in building wealth, investments, portfolios, saving, wealth management. Maybe it's a business investment. Maybe we need guidance around what to do with money when it comes in. Like, you need to be able to trust people to either teach you or guide you or make suggestions to you in order to practically create that wealth. Osiris, hi. Thanks for joining. Another reason that we need to be able to trust others in order to grow our abundance is because we can only grow and expand as large as our tightest, most prevalent limiting belief. We can only grow and expand to our most limiting behavior or thoughts about ourselves. We need mirrors around us. We need assistance to work through and release those limitations and those limiting beliefs. So needing mirrors is part, yeah, Merchant, I love it. It is deep. Yes, puns. I love puns. Yes. So another reason that we need mirrors around us is because we are not capable of seeing our own blind spots. We are not capable, because otherwise they wouldn't be blind spots and we'd be working on them. We are not able to see or perceive our own blind spots. We need people around us to trigger us, because when we are triggered, we see where we still need to heal. I say this all the time, right? People are like, oh, I want to get to a level of transformation where I can be like those monks in the Himalayas who just spend all of their time in enlightenment. Just thinking about it gives me goosies, right? 100% of their time is just spent experiencing bliss. And who doesn't want that, right? Goodness gracious. That just sounds so delicious. Yum, yum, yum. So, of course, we want to spend all of our time in enlightenment. But guess what? It's super easy. It's super easy to live in enlightenment 24/7 when you have no one around you triggering your wounds. Yeah, super easy to go live in a cabin in the mountains. You're not growing. You're not expanding. You're actually living in stasis. I mean, I don't want to poo-poo that. Sometimes you absolutely need that. You need to be fully by yourself, fully isolated in order to be able to work through some of that inner turmoil. It is very necessary. There's lots of stuff on the inside. Lots of stuff on the inside that benefits from being isolated, right? But the moment you start interacting with other humans, boom, your actual traumas, your other wounds, the deeply rooted stuff that you're not going to see when you're by yourself. Because why? Because you can't see your own blind spots. That stuff is going to be triggered again. Lindsay says recently she has strangers share with her, remind you to take it slow. No one expects you to be back where you were at any time. Let the house be dirty. Take a nap. Baby steps out. Yes. Oh, honey, postpartum anxiety, sending you so much love, babe. It's so rough. Savi says she can't imagine being herself as a bald monk. Yeah. Ultra says 100%. Stay in alignment alone. Yeah. Crystal says, yikes. Super brief snapshot. Yes. Yep, all the compassion. So beautiful. And you're receiving it, Lindsay, which is so gorgeous. We need people around us in order to grow. So if we need people around us, we're not going to be able to stay in a void. We're not going to be able to stay in isolation. We need to be able to trust those people that get to be around us. We have to. And we need to be okay with their humanity. Ooh. But can't the people who I trust to be around me just be perfect so that they never trigger me, so that they don't ever do anything to hurt me, so that they never disappoint me? No. Because they're humans, just like you. We also need those people to be able to reflect light into our blind spots. That's essentially what it is, right? That's what being a mirror is. They angle the light in just a way that it hits a part of you that's never seen the light of day before. And you're like, ow! That's how you know that someone is being a mirror for you. It's like a punch in the gut, the throat, the stomach, the chest, in the solar plexus. We also need people around us because if we never learn to trust people who are trustworthy, we will live a lonely, small, isolated existence. And Jules says, is it wrong to want them to be honest? No. Nope. It's absolutely not wrong to want people to be honest. But it's unrealistic to want people who are not honest people to be honest. If the people that you are trusting are not trustworthy, it's unrealistic to expect them to become trustworthy. If the people that you want to be honest are not honest, it's unrealistic to want them to be different. Yes. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Why else do we need to be able to trust others? Well, because I believe that one of the reasons we came here was to help others experience and help others evolve. I believe we came here to evolve, we came here to experience, and we came here to help others evolve and experience. Another reason, if we don't ever learn to trust people, we will constantly exhaust ourselves trying to manage and micromanage everyone and everything because we don't trust them to do it for themselves. And we end up bitter, resentful, angry, tight. We're always constricted. You're always tight. Your muscles are always tight, which leads to sickness, chronic illness, autoimmune, and just chronic pain, right? So lots and lots of really great reasons why it's important. Hi, Matt. Good morning. Why it's important for us to be able to trust other people. Okay. Now I'm going to give you the steps on how. How do you learn how to build your trust in others? Okay. So if you have pen and paper, now is the time to write some notes. How do you build trust? Number one, you have to clear emotions from past events. The reason that you don't trust is usually because you have a very good reason not to. And you have to be able to clear the emotions from those events. Now, let's be very, very clear about this. This is not necessarily forgiving them. This is not sanctioning their behavior. This is not saying that what they did was okay. And this is also not necessarily taking a full leap to trust yourself and your own discernment right away. You can't do that yet. First, you have to clear the trapped emotions around the events. How do you know if you have trapped emotions around an event that happened to you? Because you think of the event. And if you have anything but a completely neutral stillness, then you have trapped emotions around it. Now, one other distinction, a neutral stillness is not, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about that is suppression. That is, I'm not going to deal with that shit, that person, that event doesn't deserve my time or energy. And it has become apathy. The apathy is just a layer protecting you from the hurt, betrayal, disappointment, violation, whatever it was that happened. The apathy is acting like a layer to protect you because that thing was very painful, very violating towards you. That doesn't mean you don't have repressed emotions. In fact, it guarantees that you do. It's just that the repressed emotions are underneath the I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to deal with that anymore. I've worked on that for so much, for so long. Fuck that. Okay. That is not having cleared the suppressed or trapped emotions around the event. You know, when you have cleared the trapped emotions around the event, when you can think of that person or that event, and there's just like a stillness, a peace of heart, a peace of mind. I practiced this very much on the gentlemen that raped me, right? There were 3 at different occasions during my 20s. And when I used to think back to those events and think, fuck you, not dealing with it. Now I can think back to those events and it's really strange, but I have compassion for them. And not in like a benevolent way where I'm like, I'm better than you. No, I'm just like, ooh, what you, and not in a martyring way either. Just like love and light to you, love and light to any other victims of your behavior and your trauma. And just a divine wish that everybody within the scenario can move beyond and evolve. right? That's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. It's just a piece. It's not a block, and it's also not a a punch or a ghoul or a cringe or a pullback. Ultra says she loves everything about this conversation. You're so welcome, Lovey. Savi, so funny, especially when you know someone close to you that says you've forgiven, and in the next sentence makes it obvious that they haven't. Yeah, you can relate. Yes, practice letting go. And forgiveness has become this twisted, distorted thing where it's almost like we're supposed to dishonor ourselves and we're not allowed to acknowledge what we went through. And so that's why I don't even like talk about forgiveness. I just talk about letting the emotions move through so that you can move beyond. We're not invalidating, we're not sanctioning, we're not saying that it's okay. We are saying you fucking deserve to be able to trust people in this world that are trustworthy. You deserve that. The next step of how to build trust in others is to cultivate your discernment. If you have historically trusted untrustworthy people, you have to actually start to learn the markers of who is trustworthy, because you're going to naturally align, naturally be drawn to more untrustworthy people until you start to increase and cultivate your discernment. Then you have to strengthen your boundaries. If people have the ability to keep betraying you, if you keep giving them the ability to keep betraying you, then you can expect that they will continue to do that. I know it's like common sense, it just kind of makes sense, but you have to actually have boundaries. People cross your boundaries, or if people betray your trust, like there have to be consequences for that. The first time it happens, it has to be addressed the first time. That is why my module on boundaries is freaking 7 classes long, dude. Like, hey, Shells, super long, because boundaries are essential. And you also have to cultivate and develop realistic expectations in the people that you trust. You have to know that sometimes they're going to let you down. And you have to know that you will survive that. And that your friends will survive that. Your relationship will survive that. Jules, what if the people violating your boundaries are your bosses? Go to HR. That would be best case scenario. Go to HR with that, because that's the reason, the purpose for the HR department. Start small. So once you have found people who you think are trustworthy, start small. Start trusting them with small stuff, little things, small secrets, things that if they did tell somebody else, wouldn't be the end of the world. I'm the boss. Tell me. Hey, you didn't go to the strip club yet? What are you playing at? Oh, there is no HR. Is there a owner of the company that you could go to? It sounds like a smaller company. So it sounds like maybe your bosses are the owners. Is that right? Practice letting people manage their own affairs. Practice just taking your hands off. Let people deal with the chaos that they have created for themselves. Let people load the dishwasher the way that they see fit. And try not to reorganize it. Right? Little things like that. Practice letting people be, allowing them to follow through for you, allowing for their humanity. And then the last step is come to my class on Tuesday, because we can do this stuff in your unconscious mind. We're going to do processes for each of these steps. We're going to do the actual clearing. We're going to work on raising your discernment, activating your boundaries, strengthening your confidence in being able to set your consequences and follow through with them. Okay, so on Tuesday, we're doing a class on a donation basis, which is how do I build my trust in others? Now, just to reinforce this, if you don't have the possibility to donate money at this time, please still come to the class. You're still welcome. You can absolutely contribute to our mission at some point when you have the bandwidth in your own special, unique way. So just because you may not have the actual cash, I still want you to come. It's still open. Just want you maybe to just have your wheels turning of how you could contribute to the mission at some point when you have the capacity to. That's the goal. We're building a community that is aligned with our mission, that we're synchronistic, symbiotic. So everybody just go ahead and close your eyes as long as you're not driving. Take some nice deep cleansing breaths. Open up your heart. Open up your heart space. Breathe through any heaviness that's sitting right on top of your heart. Just breathe it out. What I mean by that is whatever heaviness, heavy energy you're feeling in your body, breathe it into your lungs. Imagine it, like just physically breathe it into your lungs and up and out of your mouth. Into your lungs, up and out of your mouth. Good. I'm going to count you from 5 down to 0. And on each count, just allow yourself, give yourself permission to sink even deeper into a space of relaxation and calm. It's okay if your brain is still going. We're not trying to get your thoughts to stop at this point. We're just going to, on the other side, just give you permission to sink deeper into calm at this moment. Starting at 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. And I just want you to think the following thought. It's kind of like a mantra, so you'll say it as it comes up throughout the week. I am willing to open myself up to trustworthy people. And if you're not willing, if that gets a big no from your body or your mind, then you can soften it with this. I am willing to consider opening myself up to trustworthy people. any fear comes up, just notice it, breathe it out. Any other heavy emotions that come up, just notice them and breathe them out as you continue to sink into your new willingness, or at least your willingness to consider that you're maybe possibly open to think about trusting trustworthy people. Beautiful. Locking that into place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eyes open. Wide awake and alert. Hi, Sarah. How you doing? How's everybody feeling there? Oh, it's the exciting time. I mean, all of it is exciting in my personal opinion, but this is the bit that is super fun because now we'll do our live online healing, but not before we talk about answering Miranda's question. If everyone can or should be able to change and grow, how do you know when they cannot be trusted versus they should be getting the chance to change or show changed behavior? Woo! What a delightful question, Miranda. And so pertinent, because I know that a lot of people who are going to be watching this have the exact same question. Like, okay, so I can't make someone be trustworthy, but how many chances do I give them? Right? Yeah, totally. Okay, so that question I'm going to have to kind of answer in the steps that you would actually need to take first. Okay, so it's almost like a reverse engineering of the situation. So with the untrustworthy person, you start with boundaries. So you start with, hey, you've broken my trust on this occasion, this occasion, this occasion, this occasion. So now I currently don't trust you. However, I still love having you in my life. Are you interested and willing, first of all? Are you interested and willing to, like, earn back my trust? Like, do you care, right? Take their temperature. Do you care that you've broken my trust and I don't trust you? Because maybe their answer is, that's your problem, babe. Maybe their answer is, I don't know what you're talking about. That's going to give you a lot of information from setting that, like, that baseline conversation. Hey, this has happened and my trust has been violated on multiple different occasions. Did you know? I don't think I've ever told you. Did you know? Did you think? Did you guess? Did you mind read? Do you know that you broke my trust? And maybe their answer is no. I have definitely broken people's trust accidentally, not on purpose, but they had to share it with me after the fact. And I'm like, oh, holy mother of God, I'm so sorry. Like, now I know where your boundary is. I promise you that will never, ever happen again. Right? So it starts with that baseline conversation. Next, if they are willing to be trustworthy, if they do want you to trust them, then you would set up some kind of expectation with them. Okay, here's my boundary. Don't XYZ. If I tell you a secret, don't post it on social media. Don't tell this person, blah, 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 right? That's my boundary. If you violate my boundary, then this is the consequence. You won't know what's happening in my deep life anymore, right? Whatever the consequence is. So setting the boundary, having the consequence, that would be the first step. If they do it again, now comes the decision. How many chances are you going to give them for them to practice this new behavior? How many times are you willing to let that happen? If it's happened a lot, probably the answer is going to be a lot less. than if it hadn't happened like a lot, if that makes sense. If your patience is thin already, you're probably not going to be willing to give them more than one or two chances. Um, and then finally, your discernment comes in with that particular person. Yes, everybody can grow, everybody can transform, but it 100% begins with a desire to grow, with a desire to evolve, with a desire to transform. If that baseline desire doesn't exist, there's nothing you can do or say to make them trustworthy, to make them want to be trustworthy, to make them evolve so they move from an untrustworthy person into a trustworthy person. I used to, back in, I'd say, my teens, I think I grew out of it in my mid-20s. By my mid-20s, I'd grown out of it. But my need to have approval created a complete lack of filters with other people's trusted information. So in order to gain someone's approval, I would absolutely have no boundaries around sharing stuff that other people had shared with me. So I used to be one of those untrustworthy people. And I grew up. People are absolutely capable of change, but it's because I had the desire. Every time I did it, I used to feel so gross. Every time someone would confront me about it, I used to feel so ashamed and guilty. And that was valid guilt because I had specifically crossed someone's boundary and violated their trust, right? And they would still keep trusting me, which was so sweet. And I just was like, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving of your trust at this time. So I desired to change, and it was a behavior that I had to cultivate. And then obviously it was a behavior I had to cultivate because now I keep people's secrets for a living and I get paid handsomely to do so, so yeah, possible. But that is a process their behavior is not manageable by you. All you can manage is how they inflict their behavior within your environment. As in, do they have the opportunity to? Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, Miss Miranda. Well, we're going to move into our online healing portion. And I got the specific guidance that Miranda was going to be our volunteer for today. So feel free to unmute yourself. I'm going to go ahead and add you as a pin here. Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for volunteering.
No problem. Well, I feel like now I've been chosen. I volunteered last week.
Yes, now you're chosen. You are the chosen one. Thank you for agreeing to be chosen and participating. All right, love. So give me a little bit of a brief synopsis about what's kind of going on in your life. For those of you who are watching on Insta, if you would like to see the live version of this, you can actually hop over to my Facebook page. Just real quick, if you want to do my class on Tuesday, you need to be on my email list in order to get the link to the class. Go to my bio. In my bio is a link, and you can join for notifications about classes. You can join my email list, and then you'll get a link to the class, I Can't Trust Others, on Tuesday. I'm going to end this Instagram stream right now because you can't see what's going on. And I'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining, everybody. Or I'll see you over on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or YouTube or my streaming page. Okay, bye. And now, okay, thank you. Please continue.
It's funny because I was like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to talk about when I when I come on here. But I mean, there's been a lot. I mean, who doesn't have a lot going on in life at this point? I know that I started hopping onto these classes partially because, yeah, I felt like I had been losing a lot of trust in everything from the universe to myself to trusting that I'm on any type of right path just because stuff continues to feel so hard. I've never been this broke in my life. I've, I just feel like any work things are not really leading anywhere. It has me questioning my choices. I didn't even know about, like, I knew about this class, but even now just listening to this, I'm like, oh yeah, and all of the issues I have with trusting people, mostly men, to be completely honest, because I have in that same stream of constantly attracting people that I clearly cannot trust, and that sort of thing. So a few people as we were doing this class, a few people started to pop into my mind of like, yep, when I think of that, it's not this yet.
He's even keel, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's it's really disheartening to feel like you don't trust where life is going anymore. Um, I
It's
will say I felt sorry?
it's despairing too.
It is despairing. I will say I felt kind of like I went from having a very, very low day earlier this week and that kind of just feeling like no hope. And it was like the next day a big shift happened. I'm not really sure why. I know that sometimes when it's like moon time and full moon time, I tend to have this big jump. But yeah, to be completely honest, right in terms of right this moment, I'm very open to any reason why it was considered that I should be the person on the call today. So
I got some clear guidance.
yeah, I will happily shift anything.
Yes. Now to speak to, yes, Ultra, I know. Thank you for your vulnerability, Miranda. You're getting a lot of appreciation on it, for it. So thank you. Um, Before we move into that, I just want to speak into the possibility of when you were having that really low moment of why it suddenly shifted. And yes, man, when the full moon's around, it can create havoc on just shining a light on stuff that hasn't been seen the light of day, right? But it sounds as if you let yourself move into it. So you were having a low day, and it sounds like you didn't try to struggle against it. You didn't try to force yourself out of it. You just let yourself sink into it. And you're like, okay, pew. I just think of like someone, when I think of sinking in, to me, it's like sinking to the bottom of the ocean, right? It's like you're at the top and you're doggy paddling for your life. And then when you surrender, it's just like, when you just let yourself, boom, start to sink deeper into it and you hit the ground, you hit the bottom. There's nowhere to go but up. So every time you do let yourself sink to the bottom of your emotions and just let yourself feel them, you will always immediately, once you're done, bounce back up again. Always, every single time. So anytime you have that, and we can't prevent our brain from creating these emotions. We simply cannot. We can't go, brain, no more sadness, thank you. Or brain, I'm okay, never feeling helpless ever again. No, like we can't stop our brain from creating these emotions. All we can do is quicken their evolution in and out. That's it. All we can do is like, okay, I'm feeling helpless. Let me just feel helpless. Okay, I feel helpless, really helpless, much more helpless, worse, 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 worse. Rock bottom. Cool. And then up. And that is just the way that emotions work. So really great job.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, the question that you have, am I even remotely on the right path? That's the one that they want to answer. That's the one that they want to reassure you of. So that's what we'll be working on. Oh, thanks, Ultra. I've always thought to go to the depth. Yes. Yeah, just witnessed it. Right? When we try to pretend that we don't have emotions, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. When we realize we have emotions and we just feel them and let them out, boom, they go. They leave. They're gone. We feel better. We don't have to obsess about it. We don't have to find the root cause all the time necessarily. We don't have to figure out a 12-step program to heal this thing right off the bat. We can just feel the emotion. for what it is, and we can express it for what it is, and we can be heard and held by a safe person, if that is within your ability to have done for you. And then, boom, that's it. That's all. Hey, Shells. Okay, love. Okay, darling. We are going to do it. Ready? We're just going to go right into it. So take some nice deep cleansing breaths. Anybody who would like to follow along, this is going to be a fairly light process. We're not processing any deep trauma in this process, so I feel comfortable inviting you to follow along if that feels good for you. So go ahead and close your eyes as long as you're not driving. Take some nice deep cleansing breaths and then open your heart space. Miranda, do you know what I mean when I say open your heart space?
I think so. I just focus on my heart and try to literally imagining it opening and anything around it kind of dissolving.
Beautiful. Gorgeous. Yeah. So for you, it's more of a portal than it is like a door.
It's more like a light growing brighter.
I love it. I love it. Anything that's in the way of your light, anything that's blocking it or preventing energy movement, just go ahead and like shift it to the side. Boom, shift, 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 shift. Good. Good job. I can feel that. Gorgeous. Okay. I'm going to count you from 5 down to 0. And at 0, you're going to find yourself in a very safe, secure space that no one can enter unless you specifically give them access or permission to. Okay. I don't need to come into this space. I'm going to speak to you from here. So it's just going to start with just you at the beginning. Okay. 5, nice deep breath. Feel that fear that's coming up a little bit. Feel that worry and just breathe it through. Would you like to share any stories or what's causing that fear or worry?
Whenever I try to do visualizations like this, I always feel like I'm going to do it wrong or I'm going to.
That's what I was hearing. I just didn't want to project. Yeah. Like, oh no, what if it doesn't work? Yeah. Yeah. What if I mess it up? Good. Thank you for saying that out loud. I can tell you that there is no wrong way to do this. It simply doesn't exist because every single person's experience is completely different. Now that what if I do it wrong question is valid. So don't shove it, just like breathe it through and release it. It's okay to worry about doing it wrong. And it's also okay to let it move through you and then just kind of drift off to the side. Did speaking to that reveal another fear underneath that?
I don't know that it revealed another fear other than the fact that that's a very big theme for me in general. Is kind of that like, I'm not going to do it right. I'm not going to be able to answer the question right.
Oh, yeah.
I want it to go right, but I'm afraid to mess it up. That's a general theme.
Yeah. Got it. So then what I would imagine what's happening within your unconscious mind right now is probably a version of, I am messing it up. I'm doing it wrong. Otherwise, things would be going better for me right now. Would that be accurate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten myself into quite a mess.
Okay. Mess it up. Okay. I'm messing it up. This is what's going on. Okay. Ouchies. Just want to witness you in that. That sounds extremely painful. Breathe through that shame and that guilt. Let it move through you. You're allowed to feel. these heavy emotions. You don't have to put them to the side. You don't have to ignore them. You don't have to invalidate them. You can just move them through. They don't feel good, but that's okay. Not all emotions feel good. You'll survive it. Just moving it through you. Breathing it through. Good. Did I even start counting? I can't remember. I'm going to start from the top. Starting at 5. Just keep breathing through any of the heavy emotions that come up. 4. 3. 2. That's it. That's it. You're doing great. 1. 0. To answer your question, what if this isn't the answer to all your problems? I can reassure you that it's not, but it will give you clarity that you need in order to work from a space of empowerment as opposed to helplessness. Okay, so when you find yourself in that secure place, nod your head for me. Good. Now we're going to invite and allow a higher being to come into the space with you. But I want to ask for your feedback of the one that you would feel like you could trust most at this point. Does it feel like a deity, like God or the universe or cosmos? Does it feel like angels or maybe your intuition or your higher soul self? Which do you think you would believe more today?
Deity.
Okay, good. How would you prefer to refer to that being?
God or source works.
Okay, source. Beautiful. Is God triggering for you at all? A little. Source. Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What people often refer God is maybe not how I'm seeing it. So
Sure. So source feels like it has less trigger points because it feels a little bit more like generalized energy.
yes.
Does that resonate for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's invite source to come into this space with you. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. When source has arrived, let me know.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so first of all, how does it show up for you?
Bright light.
Bright light. How do you feel being with source?
Feels warm.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like being very close to the sun while somehow not being burned.
I love it. Wow, it's so beautiful. So energizing too, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Gorgeous. Well, since this is your imagination, anything can happen. So let's imagine that you open up a conversation with Source by sharing how you feel being with it today.
I'm just glad that they're there, to be honest.
Were you worried they wouldn't come?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. Just share that with Source and notice how Source responds.
Just kind of loving.
Beautiful.
Kind of like a loving, like hand on the cheek type.
So reassuring. Gorgeous. Ask Source if you can ask it some questions.
Yeah.
Good. First one, most pressing. Am I messing this up?
You can't mess this up.
Ask Source to elaborate on that a little bit, please.
It might not look the way you expect it to.
But
Kind of, but one day it will make sense.
beautiful. Ask. Are you sure I'm not messing it up? How does Source respond?
You're just making it harder for yourself.
By doing what?
By needing to know, by needing to understand.
Ask. Am I going to be dropped? How does Source respond to
You can never be dropped.
that? Good. Ask. So you're going to make sure that all of my most vital bills are going to be paid, right?
You will always have everything you need.
Beautiful. How does it feel to know that?
It feels like a beautiful concept and it feels nice coming from a bright light.
You can't necessarily trust it. Yes. Right. Well, therein lies your challenge, right? Because in order not to be drawn, in order to have everything you need to surrender. And in order to surrender, you need to believe that you'll have everything that you need. You have to let go in order to let Source catch you. Yeah. So that's where some work needs to be done. Ask Source. What should I be focusing on doing to bring in more money? Like, where should my focus be? Nothing clear?
I don't know. This is where my fear of doing it wrong starts to come in. I think that I'm getting sound. I'm working on sound healing. So.
Oh, sound healing?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So ask Creator. Am I interfering with that answer because that's what I want to focus on? Or is that the truth? How does Creator respond? I mean, Source, sorry.
If I was interfering, I'd be focusing on my entertainment.
Does that resonate?
Yeah, that's what I assume the money is and what I've been doing.
Oh, God. So that could be why your money sources have dried up, because you're being backed into a corner to actually work on your sound healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to wrap up here, but you can come back and have more questions and more conversation with Source at any time. I know you have like a bunch more questions now that you've seen that you can get some answers and some clarity. So good. Come back to the space even as soon as we're done. And oh, you know what? Oh, I'm getting permission to just unpin you and let you stay right here. I'm not going to count you out. You just come out whenever you're ready, babe. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for being our volunteer today. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Wow, that's so cool. How neat was that? Thank you, everybody, for being here. So grateful for you. Those of you who do know me know that I love teaching to an empty classroom. So having you here on Zoom, having you here on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn, and on my streaming page on my actual website. I so appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time out to be here. I'm here every Sunday, and we're just progressively working through the different philosophies of having the highest, most evolving, most abundant, most glorious, luscious life. And that's it. That's what we're doing here on Sundays. And then during the weeks, we're going to be doing the actual processes. So this is the information, but information isn't going to change your life. It's not going to change your behavior. You actually have to do the work. And the work is done in the classes in between. So this Tuesday, we're going to be doing the class, How to Build Trust in Others, for all the reasons that we talked about today. Thank you so much. Again, happy Easter to those of you who celebrate Easter. Happy Pesach for those of you who celebrate Passover. And for those of you who don't celebrate either, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and week, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Love, love, love.